My dear child, lock in for a second and really hear this, because this message isn't for the crowd. It's for you. Right now, somewhere not far from your life, there is a soul breaking down in silence. They've been holding it together for way too long, smiling when they're actually empty. And tonight they've hit that point where they don't think they can keep going by themselves. Heaven saw it. God heard the whisper they barely had strength to pray. And here's the wild part. You were named as the answer. This is not random. This isn't your algorithm acting up. You didn't stumble into this moment by accident. You're here because there's an assignment on your life that's bigger than what you've been dealing with lately. This person is standing at a dangerous crossroads, feeling swallowed by pressure, regret, and straight-up exhaustion. They've been asking for one sign, just one reason to stay, and God is saying, you are that sign. I know. You might be thinking, why me? I've already got my own mess going on, and that's fair. But the truth is, God doesn't choose people who have it easy. He chooses people who have heart, people who know pain but still carry light. You've got a kind of strength that doesn't flex loudly, but shows up when it matters. That's why heaven trusts you with this. Don't scroll past this moment. Don't treat this like background noise. That pull you're feeling in your chest right now, that urgency, that's not anxiety. It's alignment. Your obedience in this moment is directly tied to your own future. If you're hearing this, it's because you've been given a specific grace that someone else desperately needs tonight. Stay with me all the way through, because I'm about to show you who this person is and why helping them is going to flip the script on your own life. What you're about to do for them is the same door God is about to walk you through. Before we go any deeper, pause for a second and type, I am ready in the comments. That's not for me. It's a signal that your heart is open and you're not backing out. Here's another thing you need to know. This person is not a stranger. There's someone already connected to you, maybe from your past, maybe still in your circle, maybe someone you've randomly thought about lately and couldn't explain why. That wasn't random. They're running on empty, and your voice, your presence, or even a simple check-in could be the thing that stops a total collapse. Right now, faces might already be popping into your mind. Pay attention to that. God is lining things up fast because time actually matters here. The moment you say yes, something massive starts moving behind the scenes, for them and for you. Here's the part most people don't realize. Helping them isn't a detour from your breakthrough. It is the breakthrough. The same hand you extend to lift them is the hand God uses to pull weight off your life that's been sitting there for years. Financial pressure, emotional heaviness, delayed answers. This is a rare exchange. Their rescue becomes your reward. Notice how specific this feels? That's because it is. And don't lose focus now, because in the next part, I'm going to reveal why this person is spiritually linked to your own blessing, and how one simple action from you triggers a chain reaction that changes everything. Stay right here, because what I'm about to reveal next will make it impossible to ignore who this message is really about. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. All right, stay locked in, because what's unfolding now goes deeper than you expected. God isn't being this direct with you by accident. The reason this moment feels heavy, almost intense, is because your obedience right now is the master key to something you've been waiting on for a long time. That quiet prayer you stopped talking about, the one you buried because it felt delayed? Yeah, this is how it gets answered. Here's the truth most people miss. Heaven doesn't move in isolation. Breakthroughs are rarely solo missions. God weaves lives together on purpose. And the person you're being nudged to help is not just someone in need. They're connected to your next level. When you lift them, something unlocks over your own head. That's not poetic talk. That's spiritual law. You might have been asking, God, when is it my turn? And he's saying, this is it. Not because you're receiving something, but because you're giving. Your willingness to step into someone else's storm is the very thing that redirects the storm clouds over your own life. Think about it. For months, maybe years, you felt like something has been stuck. Finances not flowing right. Doors almost opening but not quite. Answers hovering but never landing. That's because the release wasn't tied to hustle. It was tied to compassion. The person you're being called to help is standing at the edge of a decision that could wreck them if they step the wrong way. They haven't told anyone how bad it is. They don't want the pity. They don't want the lectures. They just need someone who won't judge the shadows they're walking through. And guess what? That's you. You're safe ground for them. That's why heaven tapped you. This isn't about money alone. It might be a conversation, a message, a prayer, showing up when nobody else does. But whatever it is, it has to be real, and it has to be now. The enemy is counting on delay. God is counting on your response. And here's something that might surprise you. There's a direct line between helping this person and a financial breakthrough you didn't even realize was connected. I'm not saying it's a transaction. I'm saying mercy creates movement. When you say yes to being the answer to someone else's prayer, God fast tracks answers to yours. Look back over the last 24 hours. Who crossed your mind out of nowhere? Who did you almost text but didn't? Who showed up in your dreams or popped into your memory for no clear reason? That wasn't random. That was a nudge. One of those faces is the person heaven is pointing to. And don't let fear talk you out of this. Fear will say, what if I'm wrong? But faith says, what if this is exactly right? You're not being asked to fix their whole life. You're being asked to show up with obedience. God handles the rest. Right now, angels are literally watching how you respond, not to judge you, but to record alignment. Because this moment determines whether a door stays closed or swings wide open over your future. If you're feeling that pull in your spirit getting stronger, type, I am a blessing in the comments. You're not hyping yourself up. You're agreeing with heaven, because what's coming next is intense. In the next part, I'm going to reveal why this person's crisis has been secretly protecting you, and how helping them dismantles a generational block that's been holding your family back for decades. Stay right here, because what I'm about to tell you is the part most people never see, and it explains why this assignment feels so heavy, so urgent, and so personal. What's happening between you and this person isn't just emotional or situational, it's generational. There's a spiritual exchange happening behind the scenes right now. The person you're being called to help has been carrying a weight that was never fully theirs to hold. In fact, part of their struggle has been acting like a shield, blocking something that was originally aimed at you and your family line. That's why their collapse feels sudden and intense. They've been holding the line for a long time, and now they're exhausted. God is saying this plainly. It's your turn to stand in the gap. You may not have known it, but for years you've been protected from certain losses, failures, and betrayals that should have hit harder than they did. That protection didn't come from luck. It came from alignment. This person's pain delayed something that was trying to attach itself to your life. Now heaven is rebalancing the scales. That's why when you help them, chains don't just fall off their life. They snap off yours too. Think about patterns in your family. The same money struggles repeating, the same relationship breakdowns, the same health issues or legal messes that seem to rotate generation after generation. You've already felt it. That sense that you were meant to be the one who breaks the cycle. This moment, this is one of the tools God uses to do exactly that. And here's the wild part. The enemy knows it. That's why distractions are hitting hard right now. Doubt, overthinking, second guessing, anything to slow you down. Because speed matters. The quicker you move in obedience, the faster heaven moves on your behalf. This person is dealing with a hidden crisis, something they haven't said out loud because it feels embarrassing or shameful. It might be health related. It might be financial. It might be tied to a mistake they made years ago that they still punish themselves for. They're convinced it's unforgivable. But God says you are the one authorized to show them mercy in a way that actually frees them. And when you do, something snaps in the spirit. That's when restoration starts hitting your own life from angles you weren't even watching. Old debts start loosening. Delays start breaking. People who blocked you suddenly shift. Doors that wouldn't budge start opening without force. Not because you demanded it, but because you obeyed. Right now, heaven is measuring something important. Not your resources, not your status, not your bank balance, but your heart frequency. God checks how someone handles another person's desperation before releasing greater responsibility. That's how trust is built in the spirit. If this is landing heavy, pause and type, "I am chosen" in the comments. Not because you're better, but because you're willing. And let me say this clearly. Don't expect fireworks. The sign that confirms this assignment will be subtle. A message, a call, a random encounter, a moment where you just know. Trust that nudge. Your intuition is being sharpened right now for a reason, because this person is closer than you think. And the moment your lives intersect again, something ancient breaks. In the next part, I'm going to explain how this person is unknowingly holding a key to your future, an opportunity, connection, or revelation that launches you into your most prosperous season yet. Stay with me, because this is where things turn from heavy to mind-blowing. What you're stepping into isn't just an act of kindness. It's a divine setup. The person you're being called to help is carrying something they don't even realize the value of yet. And that something is directly tied to your future. Right now, they're blinded by stress, shame, and pressure. They can't see clearly. Pain does that. It narrows vision. But heaven is showing you what they can't see. That inside their struggle is a map, a connection, a piece of information, a door, a resource. Something that lines up perfectly with a prayer you've been asking since last year. This is why the timing feels crazy specific. When you reach out to help them, you're not just pulling them out of a pit. You're positioning yourself at the exact coordinates of your next season. God loves using unlikely vessels, and this person is one of them. They look like a problem right now, but they're actually a carrier. That's why the enemy is terrified you stayed this long. He knows if you complete this assignment, you'll finally see the strategy needed to break the curse that's been stalking your family line for decades. The confusion, the financial leaks, the emotional heaviness, all of it has an expiration date, and it's closer than you think. God is also saying something bold here. The way you handle this person's need is the final test before a major increase. Not just money, but influence, stability, peace. Heaven checks stewardship before it releases abundance. And stewardship always starts with people, not numbers. This person is dealing with a private battle. They haven't told anyone. Maybe it's a medical scare. Maybe a legal issue. Maybe a financial collapse they're hiding behind a brave face. Your help becomes the catalyst that triggers your own restoration. What you pour out comes back multiplied. If you feel the weight of this, type, "I received this," in the comments. You're not manifesting. You're agreeing. Pay attention to signs in the next few hours. A notification, a name popping up, a sudden urge to check on someone, even a message through a mutual connection. Heaven doesn't shout, it nudges, and you're tuned in right now. Here's another layer. There's a secret connection between this person's bloodline and yours. That's not random. God weaves families together across time to protect legacy. Your encounter was planned long before either of you knew it. By helping them, you're reclaiming something that was lost by your ancestors, a key to authority, favor, or provision. Your financial drought ending. That stalled project moving. That delayed approval clearing. But only when compassion moves first. You've been asking for confirmation. This is it. This person's restoration becomes the blueprint for your own house being built. Debts canceled, reputation restored, doors reopened. We're getting close now. In the final part, I'm going to reveal the specific sign, the signal, and the exact moment you'll know without a doubt who this person is and why acting fast seals your breakthrough permanently. My dear child, you've reached the 0 hour, the moment where heaven pauses and watches what you do next. This isn't hype. This isn't coincidence. This is the point where a divine assignment either activates or quietly passes by. The air around you right now is thick with anticipation because your yes carries weight. The person you've been sensing this whole time is standing in a deep valley of decision. They're exhausted, overwhelmed, and silently questioning whether their life even matters anymore. Darkness has been whispering lies to them, telling them no one sees them, no one cares, and no help is coming. But all of heaven is pushing back with one name, yours. This is your burning bush moment. You were never meant to just wait for miracles. You were meant to be one. And the wild part, the second you step forward for them, something breaks loose in your own life. That pressure you've been carrying in your chest for years, it lifts. That delay that kept showing up at the worst times, it dissolves. The financial blockage that felt invisible but relentless, it cracks open. Here's the final confirmation you need. Within hours, maybe even minutes, you'll notice a signal, a message on your phone, a sudden name popping up, a knock, a call, or an unmistakable reminder of someone you once thought was strong enough to never need help. That's them. Don't overthink it. Move. Speed matters now. By helping them immediately, you're not just preventing a collapse. You're correcting your entire timeline. God is literally using this act to realign your past, stabilize your present, and accelerate your future. That's why this feels intense. This is high-stakes grace. This person is holding something tied to your destiny. It could be a document, a connection, a piece of wisdom, or even a door they don't realize they're guarding. When you show mercy, that door opens for you. What you've been praying would someday happen starts happening fast. Let me be clear. Someone may try to talk you out of this. They'll say you're doing too much, caring too deeply, or risking too much. Ignore that voice. Obedience will always look foolish to people who can't see what heaven sees. Right now, type, "I am the miracle," in the comments. This is you sealing the assignment. And if this message has kept you this far, don't walk this path alone. Subscribe to this channel, stay connected, and don't miss future divine instructions. You're stepping into a higher level of authority, and guidance matters here. God is saying your name is about to be honored in places you never imagined. A promotion, a settlement, a release, a breakthrough. Something tangible is lining up because you chose compassion over comfort. Your children and their children will feel the ripple effect of what you do today. You are no longer just praying for change. You are activating it. the final truth. This rescue goes both ways. As you reach down to pull them up, your hand will touch the joy, confidence, and calling you thought you lost during your hardest season. This is a divine retrieval, a full circle moment, a restoration of spiritual authority. Look at the numbers around you. The timing is exact. Heaven doesn't rush, but it never misses. Go now. Send the message. Make the call. Show up and watch as the windows of heaven swing wide open. Comment, I receive my breakthrough. Subscribe to stay aligned, and step boldly into the destiny that has been waiting on your obedience.